So a few weeks back, I uploaded a video on YouTube where I had discussed few MCQs and the explanations around it. After that, I received lots of comments on the video, and also many of you texted me on Instagram asking me to make more of such videos. So here is another video in the same line, and we are starting right now. Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Taha Khan. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I share with you clinic and exam related productivity tips and strategies. If this is your first time here, start now by subscribing and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss anything.
This is a very important MCQ from Kent's observation, and this is such an important topic that in any exam, be it AIAPGET, UPSC, any competitive exam you are preparing for, you can expect at least one question from this topic, from Kent's observation. So the question is, a full-time amelioration of the symptoms yet no special relief to the patients is which type of observation according to Kent? So let us see what are the different Kent's observations. So Kent has given us 12 observations that we need to look into the patient after we have prescribed one medicine. After we have prescribed any medicine to the patient, the most important thing that we need to do now is to observe. So these are the observations that we might expect from the patient after we have prescribed the medicine. So what is Kent's first observation? A prolonged aggravation and then final decline of the patient. So this is the first observation of Kent. Okay, means there is prolonged aggravation and then there is decline of the patient. So what are the reasons behind this? Reasons may be that the antisoric was too deep. What may be the reasons? The antisoric was too deep, potency too high, the potency was too high, or the case is an incurable one. So the prognosis is unfavorable. Prognosis is not good. Now what you need to do in this condition? What's need to be done? You need to antidote the medicine. So this was Kent's first observation. Let us now see Kent's second observation. Long aggravation but final and slow improvement. So the prognosis is good. And what to do? Since there is improvement, finally there is some improvement, so you do nothing. So this was Kent's second observation. Now Kent's third observation. The aggravation is quick, short, and strong with rapid improvement. Okay, and this is the best observation. This third observation, this observation is the best observation of Kent. So if you get a question, which is the best observation of Kent? So the answer is third observation. And this observation, this Kent's third observation, is also known as homeopathic aggravation. Also known as homeopathic aggravation. Okay. And the first observation is known as disease aggravation. This first observation is also known as disease of aggravation, and homeopathic aggravation is the third observation. So the prognosis is very good, and what you need to do? Nothing. Since everything is good, so you do nothing. Now Kent's fourth observation. No aggravation with recovery of the patient. What is the prognosis? In case of acute disease, the prognosis is good, but in case of chronic, it is doubtful. Okay, because we believe that homeopathy aggravation is a good thing. Okay, and if there is any homeopathy aggravation, then you can be sure that the medicine prescribed was correct and it will act properly and it will cure the disease. So if you are having no aggravation, then in acute cases the prognosis is good, but in case of chronic one, it is doubtful. And what to do? Do nothing. So that was Kent's fourth observation. Now Kent's fifth observation. The amelioration comes first and the aggravation comes afterwards. Now this could be possible if the remedy was superficial. So the prognosis is unfavorable, and what to do? Since the remedy that you prescribed was superficial, means there was slight amelioration and then there was aggravation. So what you need to do? You need to again prescribe another remedy, a more similar remedy basically. What to do? Prescribe a more similar remedy. Now Kent's sixth observation. Too short relief of symptoms. Why does this occur? Because there might be some condition that interferes with the action of the remedy. Okay, so the prognosis is bad in case of chronic diseases. The prognosis is bad in chronic cases or chronic diseases. And what to do? In case of acute diseases, the medicine, since there is very short relief of symptoms, so in case of acute diseases, you need to repeat the medicine more often. And in case of chronic disease, a more similar remedy has to be prescribed. Next is seventh observation. A full-time amelioration of the symptoms, yet no special relief to the patient. Now, this is an example of palliation. So, if you get an MCQ, palliation has been mentioned, or palliation is which observation of Kent? So, the answer is seventh observation. And the prognosis is obviously bad because you are only able to cure the patient to a certain point. So the prognosis is bad. Now Kent's eighth observation. Some patient prove every remedy they get. These are known as idiosyncrasies. So if you get an MCQ, which Kent's observation are idiosyncrasies, or idiosyncratic patients are which observation of Kent? So the answer is eighth observation. So the prognosis is bad. And what to do? In acute diseases, give 30 and 200 potencies, and in case of chronic diseases, give 30, 200 and 500 potencies. Next, Kent's ninth observation. Which is the action of medicines upon provers. Okay, so this is nothing but drug proving. Another very important MCQ, drug proving is which observation of Kent? Answer is ninth observation. Next is Kent's 10th observation. New symptoms appear after the remedy. Means you have prescribed a remedy and you are seeing new symptoms. So this is nothing but medicinal aggravation. Another very important MCQ point. Medicinal aggravation is which observation of Kent? So the answer is 10th observation. So what to do? So since new symptoms are appearing, if the new symptoms are of serious nature, then you need to antidote. And if they are not of serious nature, then wait so that the effects of these new symptoms will pass away. Next is Kent's 11th observation. When old symptoms reappear. When old symptoms reappear. So the prognosis in this case is good, because if the old symptoms are reappearing, then it means that the medicine is following, or the cure is following Herring's law of cure, right? So it is of very good prognosis. So what to do? Now, since the old symptoms are reappearing, so long as the symptoms are coming and going, you do nothing. Okay? You do nothing. But if the symptoms are coming and staying, then you repeat. Then you repeat the medicine. Next is Kent's 12th observation. Symptoms take wrong direction. It means that the medicine given was wrong. So the prognosis is bad. And what to do? You need to antidote. So these were the 12 Kent's observation that you need to remember on your fingertips for exam. You just expect that in any competitive exam that you are appearing, you will at least get one MCQ from this topic. The next MCQ is, which of the following causes rigor in skeletal muscle? The options are A, no action potentials in the motor neurons; B, an increase in intracellular calcium level; a decrease in intracellular calcium level; and a decrease in ATP level. Now, this rigor is a state of permanent contraction. In the skeletal muscles, in case of decreased ATP, in case where the ATP are depleted, adenosine triphosphate. So the correct answer as per this options are a decrease in ATP level. With no ATP bound, the myosin remains attached to the actin, and cross bridge cycle cannot occur. So in case of no action potentials, if there are no action potentials in the motor neurons, then the muscle fibers they innervate will not contract at all. Means there will be no contraction. There will be no contraction if there are no action potentials in motor neurons. Now the option B, when intracellular calcium level in concentration increase, this Ca+2 will bind with troponin C. Thereby permitting the cross-bridge cycle to occur. And in case of decreased concentration of intracellular Ca, there will be relaxation. So in this MCQ, A, B, C, all these options are incorrect, and only C or only D, that is decrease in ATP level, this is the correct answer. So the next MCQ is convulsions with extreme coldness of body except head or occiput which may be hot. The options are belladonna, hyoscyamus, helleborus, cicotta virosa, Now let me give you one more option, which is arnica, and sixth option is both 3 and 5, means both Helleborus and arnica. Okay, so these are the 6 options. Now before telling you the correct answer to this MCQ, let us do a comparative study and see what are the symptoms of convulsions in other remedies. So in aconite, it is written convulsions of teething children, heat, jerks and twitches of single muscles. Okay, heat, jerks and twitches of single muscle. Child gnaws its fist, frets and screams, skin hot and dry, high fever. Okay, I hope you have your Allen's keynotes opened in front of you, okay, so that you can relate these symptoms, because I'm not gonna write each and every word and each every line of the symptoms of convulsions. So in aconite, basically the convulsions of teething children, heat, jerks and twitches of single muscles, and high fever. Okay, now let us see what is the convulsion symptoms in belladonna. So in belladonna, it is written convulsions during teething with fever. Come on suddenly, head hot, feet cold. Okay. Now convulsion with fever, convulsion of teething children. If the MCQ is only convulsions of teething children, only this much is given. Okay. So you know that the answer is aconite. Okay. If the MCQ is convulsions during teething, only this much is given, then you know that the answer is belladonna. Okay. So remember that in aconite, there is convulsions of teething children. This word is extra. And in belladonna, it is only convulsions during teething. And both aconite and in belladonna, convulsion is with fever. In MCQs, it is without fever. Without fever in MCQs. Now there is another remedy which has convulsion but has no fever, means convulsion without fever. Let us see that remedy. So if you see the convulsion of zincum metallicum, it is convulsions during dentition. Okay, this word is important. So convulsion during dentition, if this is the line, if this line is given, then do not confuse it with belladonna, because it is convulsion during teething, not dentition. The word has changed in zincum. It is convulsion during dentition. So convulsion during dentition with pale face, no heat. There is no heat. Except perhaps in occiput, no increase in temperature. And in the symptoms itself, it is written reverse of belladonna. Means belladonna has convulsion with fever, but zincum has no convulsion without fever. Rolling the eyes and gnashing the teeth. That is not important. So the key word is no increase in temperature. Now let us see what is written in Glonoin. So in Glonoin, the convulsions of children from cerebral congestion, meningitis during dentition, cases that seem to call for belladonna. Now don't get confused. If this is the line in your MCQ, that convulsions in cases that seem to call for belladonna, then if in the option, if there is belladonna, then that is a very tricky question. That is a very tricky MCQ. Don't get tricked. Okay, don't make this silly mistake that since belladonna has been mentioned in MCQ, so the answer will be belladonna. No, this is a line from Glonoin. What is the line? Convulsion of children from cerebral congestion. Okay, so the important keyword here is convulsion from cerebral congestion. This is the keyword. Meningitis. If the MCQ is convulsion during meningitis, then you know that the answer is Glonoin. Okay, this semicolon, I hope all of you know this meaning of semicolon. This semicolon, this symbol represents that this symptom has ended and this is a new symptom. Means the MCQ can be convulsions during meningitis. This can be one, even though the entire line, the entire sentence has not been mentioned in the MCQ, but in the question, if it is convulsions during dentition or convulsions during meningitis, then that is one separate MCQ. Now convulsion in Helleborus. What is the line? Convulsions with extreme coldness of body except head or occiput, which may be hot, and in the bracket it is given arnica, which is our MCQ, this MCQ. So the correct answer of this is both 3 and 4, means the answer will be both Helleborus and arnica if it is in the MCQ. But if arnica is not mentioned, then the correct answer for this MCQ is Helleborus. So this is the convulsion in Helleborus. Another remedy, hyoscyamus. Convulsions of children from fright or the irritation of intestinal worms. In the bracket it is Sina. After semicolon, during labor. This is important. Convulsion of children. This is this semicolon during labor. This is the keyword here. During labor is the keyword. So in an MCQ, if you get this, convulsions during labor, answer is hyoscyamus. Then after that, during puerperal state, again another MCQ. After semicolon, it is during puerperal state. Another keyword. After meals, child vomits, sudden shakes, then insensible. So that is the convulsion in hyoscyamus. In cicuta, there are many symptoms of convulsions. Convulsions violent with frightful distortions of limbs and whole body, with loss of consciousness or of opisthotonus, renewed from slightest touch, noise or jar. Puerperal convulsions. Okay, this keyword is very important. So know that convulsions during puerperal state is hyoscyamus, but puerperal convulsion, if this is the keyword, then the answer is cicuta. Puerperal convulsions, frequent suspension of breathing for a few moments, as if dead, upper part of the body most affected, continue after delivery. And there are few symptoms of epilepsy. So remember each and every word from their keywords. And one more remedy that we need to study is agaricus. Now in aconite we had done, or we have seen in convulsion, that it is jerks and twitches of single muscles. Now a similar symptom is also present in agaricus. What is the symptom? The symptom is jerks of single muscles to dancing of whole body, trembling of whole body. And in the bracket it is mentioned twitching of muscles of the face. The medicine is Mygale. This next question is from Organon of Medicine, from the mental disease portion. Sudden occurrence of insanity, mania should be immediately treated with. The options are psychical remedies, antisoric remedies, non-antisoric remedies, but not antisoric remedies, but other class of proved medicines. And the last option is only diet and regimen. So let us discuss this MCQ. Now this is a MCQ from mental disease. We all know that mental disease is a type of one-sided disease. and these one-sided disease are of psoric origin. So obviously mental diseases are also psoric in origin. Now you need to know that there are 4 types of mental diseases. So what is the first type? The first type of mental disease are those mental diseases appearing with the decline of corporeal disease. Now what is this corporeal disease? These corporeal disease are nothing but physical forms of diseases. Okay, these are physical diseases. Suppose there was any suppuration in the lungs, or if there was any deterioration in any organ of the body, and that has transformed into insanity or mania. So what has happened, that the physical disease has now transformed into a mental disease. Okay, so that is type 1. How do you treat it? The MCQ point is, how do you treat it? The treatment portion. So Hahnemann says, for the treatment of this type of disease, what you need to do is you need to see the corporeal disease when it was back then, before it has transformed into mental disease. What was the state of that corporeal disease? So corporeal disease back then plus the present state of the corporeal disease, means the corporeal disease now. And how you will find this? How will you know about this? What was the state of corporeal disease back then? This you will know from friends. Patient's friends, patient party will tell you what was the state of the physical disease before it transformed into mental disease. Plus the corporeal disease now, this the physician can himself observe. Okay, and also the how you will know this, like the present state is mental disease. Mental disease is what is dominating now, but there are lucid intervals. You need to know about this terminology, lucid interval, mentioned in aphorism 219. That during this interval, what happens? There is decline in the mental disease and there is flare up of the physical disease. So when this happens, you will come to know about the state of corporeal disease right now. To these, add the present state of mind, means the present mental disease. All of this together will form your totality of symptom, and you have to give a similar remedy to these. You have to select a similar medicine from where? From the group of anti-psoric medicines. Okay, so the treatment of the first type of mental disease is anti-psoric remedies. Remember this. Now the second type of mental disease, that is mental diseases appearing suddenly. Suppose insanity, mania, which has suddenly appeared, okay, from long emotional causes, from vexations, from fright. If this disease has suddenly appeared, means it is acute forms of disease. So what do you do for the treatment? The treatment will be as mentioned in the aphorism 221, that it should not be treated by anti-psoric medicines, means not anti-psoric. it should not be treated immediately by antipsoric medicines, but other class of proved medicaments. This is the actual term that is used in the aphorism. Other class of proved medicaments. And in the aphorism, it has been specifically mentioned aconite, belladonna, stramonium, hyoscyamus, mercury in highly potentized minute homeopathic doses. So this is the treatment for type 2 mental disease. Now further in the aphorism, it is also said that after you have given this medicine, so the treatment is proved medicaments. And after you have given this, no time should be wasted, but you need to give antipsoric medicine. Since this disease has its origin in Sora, so you need to give antipsoric medicine immediately. Now the third type of mental disease. Mental diseases of doubtful origin. Means you don't know whether this mental disease has originated from the corporeal disease, or if this mental disease is a result of faults of education, bad practices, corrupt morals, or neglect of mind, or superstition. These things you don't know. So what will be the treatment of this? The treatment for this will be friendly exhortations, sensible advice, consolatory arguments, and serious representations. So these are the treatment for type 3 mental disease. If this mental disease has not originated from any corporeal disease, because if it has originated, then that is type 1 disease. That is again the first type of mental disease that we have talked about. Now the fourth type of mental disease, which is mental diseases arising from prolonged emotional cause. The mental diseases arising from prolonged emotional cause, like continuous anxiety, continuous worry, vexation, fear, fright. These are the emotional causes that body, after being exposed for a prolonged period of time, mental disease will occur. So what is the treatment for this type of disease? Psychical remedy. And what is this psychical remedy? These are nothing but these things. These are psychical remedies. So to the fourth type of mental disease, the treatment will be psychical remedy, that is sensible advice, consolatory arguments, serious representations, and plus along with this, proper diet and regimen has to be maintained. And again, Hahnemann says that since this is fundamentally due to Sora, so you need to give antipsoric remedy. Okay, so first is this, then is antipsoric remedy. For security's sake, the word has been mentioned in the aphorism, that is for security's sake. Just for the security purpose, you are giving antipsoric remedy to this fourth type of mental disease. So these were the four types of mental diseases, and to our question, which is the sudden occurrence of insanity mania, which is the second type, the answer is not antipsoric but other class of proved medicine.